What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video we're going to be talking about the 10 most common prison tattoos. You know, if you've ever served any amount of time, all 10 of the tattoos we're going to be talking about in this video, you're going to know at least 100 guys who have these tattoos that we're going to be talking about here today. And you know, I never really understood why so many guys would have the same exact damn tattoos. They're not getting these tattoos because they know somebody else who has them. They're getting these tattoos because they know these are some cool tattoos to get, or they represent a certain thing, or there's a certain other reason why they would be getting these. I'm getting a little lost just trying to explain this. But again, these top 10 common prison tattoos that we're going to be talking about here today, there's probably like 1 million guys locked up. I'm not sure the exact number, math, or statistic, but there is guaranteed a lot of guys serving time or who have served time who have these tattoos. And to be completely honest with you, old Joe, I myself certainly have one of these common tattoos that I'm going to be telling you about. So with all of that being mentioned, what do you say we just go ahead and dive head first into this video. The first most common prison tattoo that you're going to run across, you are probably guaranteed to see this tattoo tatted on at least 3 different people on day 1 of you entering any type of institution. And that is, only God can judge me. You know, I've seen this tattoo so many times. I mean, endless, countless times on so many different guys that I've served time with. And every time that I see "only God can judge me" tattooed on a guy, the first thought that comes to my mind is, only God can judge me, you say? You got it tattooed right there across your chest. Wait a minute. Aren't you in prison with me right now? Matter of fact, didn't the judge judge you? I'm actually judging you right now as well because you have this tattoo saying only God can judge me. Because it would seem to me that others have judged you as well. The police who arrested you, they probably judged you. The prosecutor, the judge in your case most certainly judged you. And again, I can't emphasize this strongly enough. I'm sitting right here judging you as well. That's a complete contradiction. You've got tattooed right there across your chest in those nice little old English letters. Only God can judge me. Tell that to the parole board. I know you are the people who are going to make the determination as to whether or not I'm eligible for parole and to be released. However, I do need to let you know, only God can judge me. What do you mean parole denied? I mean, don't get me wrong, I know what you're going for saying only God can judge me. However, to me, it just seems like a complete contradiction, because if you ever find yourself locked up in prison, well, it would certainly appear that quite a few other people have judged you as well. Number 2, and keeping with the religious theme, praying hands or crosses or some sort of portrait tattoos of Jesus. Wow, you've got a portrait of Jesus tattooed right there on your neck. You've got a cross on one arm and a pair of praying hands on the other. You know, it would appear to me with as many religious tattoos as you have that you wouldn't be the type of an individual who would be sitting right here in prison with me. And you know, these first 2 common types of prison tattoos that I've mentioned thus far, only God can judge me, or a pair of praying hands or crosses or portraits of Jesus, you know, all of this brings up a very good point. And that is religion in prison, which I have to assure you is a very, very serious thing. In fact, I've met some of the most religious people in my life while serving time, no matter what their religion is, whether Muslim, whether Christian, whether Jewish. And you know, some of these guys actually find that religion, start believing, start studying that while they're incarcerated. I mean, before they got locked up, there's a very good likelihood that they didn't live that type of a religious lifestyle. And while they've got nothing but time on their hands to serve and really have a lot of time to just do things, some of these guys will spend that time studying certain religions and hoping, and no pun intended, but also praying that when they get released, they're able to continue trying to live some sort of a religious and also crime-free life. So it's not like I'm sitting here trying to make fun of these religious tattoos that guys get. However, these are some very common prison tattoos that you will see. Moving on to number 3, and this is also a category that I myself fall into. Girls' names. Or hell, maybe even guys' names if that's your thing. And you know, to be honest with you, this one probably could have been number 1 actually, because I think there are more guys who serve time, myself most certainly included, who for whatever reason will get that girl's name tattooed on them, thinking that that might be the ticket that might make her ride that time out with them. And you know, I just gotta be completely truthful with you. In every single instance, I have never seen a guy who got a girl's name tattooed on them and then that girl actually stuck by them through the time that they had to serve. In every single situation like that, where a guy decided to get a girl's name tattooed on them, they did so because of exactly what I just mentioned, hoping that when she comes to visit them, see this name I got tattooed right here on me? I got your name, girl. We're here for life. Even though I'm doing life, you gonna do it with me, right? You ain't going nowhere, right? I know you're gone already. God, why did I tat this on my body? I need to get this off of me right now. I've certainly got a lot of experience with exactly that. You know, some guys will say they do this because this is how they can truly show that girl that they want to spend the rest of their lives together. Hell, I've even seen guys who get the girl's name tattooed right across the ring finger. And I can't tell you how many black bands I've tattooed right there across that finger as well, covering up a girl's name. And you know, it is no mystery to people who serve time. I mean, this is something that is very well known. And that is that if you get a girl's or guy's name tattooed on you, I mean, that is like an omen. That is like absolute bad luck. And if you ask anybody about getting a girl's name tattooed on them while serving time, they're gonna tell you the exact same thing. And if they've done it themselves, there's a good potential they could tell you. What you mean talking about getting a girl's name tattooed? That's just crazy talk. Ain't nobody trying to get no girl's name tattooed on them. I got so many cover-ups. It could potentially be a very touchy subject to them. And you know, while we're having this open format type of discussion right here, and while we're being completely honest, I'll just go ahead and tell you. You know, I've got one girl's name tattooed right here that I do need to get covered up, so I can put my fiance's name right here across my neck or maybe across my throat with her lips on my forehead. I've been thinking about getting both of those tattoos very seriously, so let me know if you think that's a good idea. But you know, with this one female's name that I've got tattooed right here on my arm, that's not the first time I've tattooed a girl's name on me. In fact, and again, being completely truthful, that was the third time. The third different girl's name. Oh my God, this is better than anything else on YouTube. This guy tattooed 3 different girls on him. Man, what a loser. Dude, you are a loser. Send. Loser though. But yes, I've actually tattooed 3 different girls' names on my body. One of them was right here, which you can clearly see has been covered up. Another one was right here, which again, you can clearly see has been covered up as well. And there is this one last one that I do need to get covered up. But yeah, getting a girl's name tattooed on you in prison is a very common prison tattoo. And also while serving time, something that is definitely considered bad luck. Moving on to number 4, let's go ahead and get away from number 3. Let's get away from that because that ain't nothing but a bunch of bad juju and karma. Get away from me, number 3. Girls' names tattoo. God, the stories I could tell you. But again, we'll save that for another time. Moving on to number 4. Clocks or hourglasses or watches or anything that depicts the time. Maybe even a calendar. Anything that depicts the time of the day, the time of the month, the time of the year, time in general. Clocks and hourglasses to be more specific. And it probably is no stretch of the imagination to imagine why this would be such a common type of prison tattoo. Because everybody who is in prison is serving. I'm gonna lay it out right there in front of you. You gonna take it? I know you got it. But everybody who's locked up, they're serving time. And clocks and hourglasses, calendars, it all represents that time that they're serving. Some guys get the month and the years from this month and year to maybe never. Other guys might get a big old Rolex tattooed right there on their wrist without a minute or hour hand on that watch. And you're best to not ask them why they got a clock tattooed on them without an hour or minute hand on it. Hey, why you got that Rolly tattooed on your arm right there and it's missing the minute and hour hand? Anybody who's got any kind of clock tattooed on them missing a minute or hour hand, that means they ain't never coming home. Simple and put. And don't ask them about it neither, because it could lead to you waking up in the infirmary. How I get in medical and why all I can remember is something about a Rolex. I ain't never had a Rolex a day in my life. Number 5, and another very common saying that a lot of guys who are serving time will have tattooed on them. Mama tried. You know, this is a really funny one to me because you'll see these guys who have these tattoos that say, Mama tried. And you know, I think to myself when I see these tattoos like, damn, you know, if your mother did try so hard, and then you turned out the way that you did, you're locked up here in prison with me, and my mama tried too, and I still ended up here right here next to you. But if your mama tried, then ultimately you let her down and you turned out to be a guy who would end up having to serve some time. And you know, you probably hurt your mother, you probably really upset her, you probably caused her a lot of pain, heartache, grief. So why would you want to represent that on your body with a tattoo saying mama tried? It really just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Number 6, playing cards or dice or anything that represents gambling. Because my God, everybody who's locked up is a card shark, wizard, expert gambler running the football and NBA tickets, and everybody knows everything there is to know about betting or playing poker. When in all likelihood, a lot of these guys who have these tattoos, these dice, and these playing cards, and these poker chips on them are going to be the first guys to lose all their money on the poker table or betting it on the Super Bowl taking New England and then going ahead and checking right in to the hole. Damn, man, you must really know how to play cards. You've got the entire deck of cards sleeved out on your arms right there. I'm all in. You gonna call? Why you gonna call me with a deuce 7? That's the worst hand in poker. You better go ahead and write a slip to the guards and let them know it ain't safe for you in here no more. With all them playing cards tattooed on your arm right there like you know how to play poker. But then again, don't get me wrong. Some of these guys who do have cards tattooed on them, dice tattooed on them with little flames and horseshoes and poker chips, oh, they some real gamblers. They some card sharks for real. And they probably take all your money and make you in turn go ahead and check in. So you gotta watch that. It's a double-edged sword. It's like catch-22, conundrum, an oxymoron, something along those lines. Number 7, dollar signs, money, stacks of money, money bags, a bank, anything that represents currency. You're definitely going to see this tattooed on a million different guys in prison. Because everybody in prison, you have to remember this, nobody was an addict. Everybody out there was a kingpin. They was getting money in one form, fashion, or another. And because of that, they're going to have money tattooed all over their body. They might actually have more money tattooed on their body than they've ever seen in their entire damn lives. Dude, you got $400 tattooed right there on your shoulder. I know damn well you ain't never seen no $400. And your lips look like you've been sucking on a bottle of baby powder. No damn well you ain't never seen no $400. You was out there smoking the rock. Should have got a mountain tattooed on your arm instead to represent what you was really out there doing. Number 8, couldn't have made this video unless I included this in here. We're talking about common prison tattoos, for God's sake. So of course, we have to include teardrops. Now, teardrop tattoos is a very, very complicated thing. Because most commonly, teardrop tattoos represent that you have offed somebody, that you have a body up under your belt. You got a couple of notches on your belt because you a stone cold savage out there in the streets. And don't get me wrong, do not get me wrong, we are talking about prison, for God's sakes. You will have guys who have these teardrop tattoos on them. They might have their face flooded with teardrops, looking like a damn tsunami on their face. Boy, that dude got a lot of his entire face is nothing but one big teardrop with a bunch of little teardrops inside. What the heck did this guy do? Some of these guys will have these teardrop tattoos, and you best believe those teardrops represent that they have done exactly what these things really represent. That they have, in fact, done something really crazy. But you'll have other guys who will get these teardrop tattoos, and you can look at them and just be like, man, you ain't even about that life. Man, you wouldn't bust a grape in a food fight. Man, what you got a teardrop tattooed on your face for? And in cases just like this, these guys will give you the craziest reasons why they've got these teardrops. This teardrop represent my cat that passed away. Can't stop crying about that cat. Dude, I'm sorry. I recently lost a cat as well. I know the pain. Who did your teardrop? Maybe I should go get one as well. Number 9, another very common type of prison tattoo, spiderwebs. You're going to see a lot of guys, and they're going to be a certain type of guys, a certain type of gang affiliation type of guys, who have these spiderweb tattoos. And these are definitely gang affiliation type tattoos. And if they've got a spider in that spider web, well, that represents the exact same thing in certain cases that those teardrops represent as well. Damn, that dude got more cobwebs on him than the attic upstairs of my house. And he got a body full of spiders on him. Man, somebody need to call the exterminator on that guy. But you better not mess with him, because a lot of these guys who get these spiderweb tattoos, they crazy. And I mean crazy for real. We have now reached the 10th most common type of prison tattoo. And what number 10 is any kind of guns or bullets, or even bullet holes, tattooed on people's bodies. I cannot tell you how many dudes I have met while locked up nicknamed Ruger, AK-47, Lil Glock. And just as so many of these guys will have gun-type nicknames, you'll have just as many guys who will have guns or bullets or bullet holes tattooed on their body. And a lot of what this is going to represent is that was the type of life that these guys lived in the street. They used to tote a gun. They was like little Pistol Pete out there or something. And you know, I've also seen in some cases, not all cases, but certainly in some, where the size of the gun or the caliber of the gun tattooed on a prisoner sort of represents like how hard they really go. Man, that dude got an AK-47 tattooed in his waistband right there. That dude got to go hard. How he fit an AK in his waistband though, for real? Everybody's gonna see that if he was doing that for real. No wonder he's in prison. And you know, with that last little point that I brought up about the bigger the gun, the harder the prisoner goes, you know, that brings up a crazy little prison story I want to tell you real quick. You know, there was this one time where this guy literally asked me if I could tattoo a tank on his face. You trying to get a tank tattooed on your face for what? I'm saying, Joe, man, because I'm built like a tank. I'm army strong, dog. It ain't gotta be no big tank. I'm just trying to get something small, like right here on my cheek or something, man. A tank, Joe. They gonna know I go hard in the paint for real. Every time they look at me, they gonna see a tank on my face. Man, you can't possibly think that you're going to be able to go home and get a job with a tank tattooed on your face. Man, Joe, you already know I'm trying to go home and start me a business, man. So what? I got a tank tattooed on my face. I'm a hard-working dude, Joe. I'm trying to get the tank, though, for real. How much you going to charge me? You going to start a business. Who going to give you some business with a tank tattooed on you? What kind of business you trying to start anyways? Construction, landscaping? I mean, what you think you want to do? Man, I ain't trying to go home and do no construction, Joe, man. That's for the birds, man. I'm trying to go home and start me a daycare. Daddy do right daycare. What? Where do you want to get the tank at? Your left or right cheek? True story. Though I never did end up tattooing the tank because, well, I don't know how to draw a tank. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know what you thought was the most crazy of these most common prison tattoos. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, nor ever find yourself locked up where you could be seeing or potentially getting one of these top 10 most common types of prison tattoos. And make the most of every day.